I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta make the city move. Like, whoa. I make the city move. I got the move.
So with free agency right around the corner, there's a lot of discussion about who is going to sign where. Most eyes are looking towards two specific players, LeBron James and Paul George. It is consensus that Paul George is either going to the Lakers or staying in OKC, and even Philadelphia is a popular option, but I believe there is a team out there that could sign Paul George and it's been getting minimum attention. That's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. If you are new here and enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content. But with that being said, let's get right into this. As I've mentioned, there are plenty of teams that could sign Paul George. The front runners are the Lakers and the Thunder, but the Rockets and 76ers are not too far behind either. There are also a few other teams that do have the space to sign Paul George, but probably won't sign him as they are rebuilding. But if I'm completely honest, the team I'm about to mention could make a lot of sense if they make the correct moves. The team? The Utah Jazz. Now you may be a bit confused by this, but if you really break down this signing, it would actually be a perfect fit for Utah, Paul George, and Donovan Mitchell. As a starting point, Donovan Mitchell and Paul George are good friends, so immediately you have chemistry there. PG knows this team is on the rise. I mean, he just lost to them in the first round of the NBA playoffs. The team also has a core that can fit around nicely with Paul George, with Defensive Player of the Year Rudy Gobert and an NBA Coach of the Year finalist Quinn Snyder. This season, a huge problem with the Jazz was their lack of players who could create their own offense, with them finishing the season 19th in points per game and 15th in efficiency. What I'm trying to say there is basically while the team was moderately successful overall offensively, it had to grind out possessions and manufacture offense because it didn't have much in the way of players who could get their own shot beyond Mitchell. Scenes were often replayed of him getting the ball at the end of the shot clock after the offense had stalled to try and make something happen. If Paul George was on the Jazz, so much pressure would be taken off Donovan Mitchell, and I can see the duo playing off each other really well. Unlike some other star offensive players, Playoff P is also a fantastic defender, which fits perfectly into the Jazz's mainly defensive identity. Just imagine this. Mitchell, George, and Rudy Gobert as Utah's core, to go along with guys such as Ricky Rubio, Joe Ingles, and Jay Crowder. That's an incredibly good group, led by Snyder. This is just too good of an offer for Paul George to resist. He's still going to be the star on the team. Mitchell is continuing to improve, and there is no doubt this team is going to go on multiple deep playoff runs in the future. But of course, we can't just hypothesize everything here. Things have to make sense financially too, not just in basketball terms. The first move to signing Paul George would be needing to get rid of some contracts to free up some space. PG-13 is looking to sign a max contract deal, probably of around $30 million, so let's keep that in mind. The Jazz can lose $13 million by letting Thabo Sefolosha, Jonas Jerebko, and Ekpe Udoh walk in free agency in July. These are some decent role players, but nothing that would hurt them a lot if they lose them. The next logical step would be to trade Alec Burks' $11.5 million contract. Alec Burks didn't contribute very heavily to the Jazz this past season as he was out of the rotation most of the year, so it won't hurt a lot losing him either. After doing these moves, the Jazz would then have about $25 million free to sign Paul George. This would mean they'd have to go over the luxury tax, but of someone's caliber like Paul George, I think the risk would be worth it and the Jazz probably wouldn't hesitate to make this signing. Looking at the teams around the league, this team could definitely beat the Pacers, 76ers, and put up fights against the Celtics. I can see them beating Portland and Toronto if those teams do remain untouched throughout the offseason, and even OKC. The only team I can't see the Jazz beating are the Rockets and Warriors, and possibly the Lakers if they get LeBron. But other than that, this team could easily be a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. So to conclude, the Utah Jazz is a great fit for Paul George. He fits really well into the team's system and takes a lot of weight off Donovan Mitchell's shoulders. With the correct moves, the Jazz can sign PG-13 and have the potential to make multiple deep playoff runs. And to be quite frank, I'm not sure why nobody is talking about this. But what do you guys think of this? Should Paul George sign with the Utah Jazz? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.